long for the morning that they realise brutality and unjust laws cannot defeat us. Who'll defend the workers who cannot...
Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. I've got some good news for you for a change. Yes, this film is kind of a follow-up to one that I uploaded in December of 2013. And to fill you in on the background, I'm just going to show you a clip from that film now. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. Now, this is a follow-up to a film I did, I think it was a couple of years ago now, or was it an article? I can't remember. I think it was both. But basically it was about this shop here. This is the nicer local shop on Abingdon Road in Oxford. And I explained how these shops are actually independently run, and they're a franchise, but they're actually independently owned and run shops. Workers' cooperatives, and well, there's been an update on that situation, and I'll show you. Come with me. Nice weather today, not a chemtrail in sight. It's actually the weather. Sorry, one moment. Slaxer put it very well in his recent film. The weather lately has been boring. We've had, it's the first sunny day we've had for a couple of weeks. It's really a great shame. Go. It's been sort of wet and windy, and the temperatures have been very mild. It's been more like autumn than winter, and why that is? Well, last time the sun shone, this happened. Horrific chemtrails today. Look at that. There's the sun, but it's hidden behind this gunk from awful chemtrails. A few are over there. Yeah, that was pretty horrible. That was that chemtrailing. Anyway, I've come just a few hundred yards from the nicer shop, as you just saw there, the nicer shop on Abingdon Road. I'm on the ball corner of Weirs Lane, or Donington Bridge Road. Donington Bridge is up that way, and there's been some bad news, and this is it. This building site here. This, I said, as you see, it's just a few dozen yards from the nicer shop in that direction, and this is it. Tesco Express. And there's pictures of what it's going to look like. It's being built at the moment on that building site there. Used to be a pub. Used to be a pub called the Fox and Hounds. Classic, traditional old pub owned by the Morals Brewery. Several centuries old. They knocked it down, and now they're building a Tesco's, and the people in the nicer shop are worried, with good reason, I think. And unfortunately there's been some more bad news. What you're seeing now is a very sad sight. I've just been painting in there, as you can probably tell by the state of my hands. Sadly, the People's Supermarket is no more. Do you remember my video called Non-Con Street? You'll remember me talking about the People's Supermarket. I was a member of this organisation, and basically I work there, and now basically we're just painting it up so we can get our deposit back. It's very sad that this is gone and it hasn't worked out, especially in light of the of what I showed you just now down on Abingdon Road. I think it's important that we don't give up. We've lost a battle, we haven't lost the war. And they're already talking maybe about one day opening up again somewhere. So when these sort of things happen, don't give up, keep at it. Eventually the penny will drop and people will start actually using the place instead of going to the Great Satan Tesco along the road. Obviously, you know, Tesco's a lot cheaper, I know, but the more you use the small businesses and the local community businesses, the prices will go down, as I explained on Abingdon Road. Abingdon Road now has a chance. The people have a chance. They have a choice to make. What's it to be? It's basically the choice between prison and freedom. It's that simple. Thanks for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Yep, the People's Supermarket is no more. I'm very, very sorry, I'm going to miss it. I really enjoyed working at that place, and I thought it was doing it was a really good thing. As I explained in my video, which I'll put in the description box as well, which is Non-Con Street. And now we have this Tesco's Express opening being built here at this building site on Abingdon Road. And just to give you some perspective of where we are, again, I'm walking up this way, and you'll see how close I am to the nicer shop. There's the nicer shop. The nicer shop was actually set up, as I explained in the original film, it was set up with ethical shopping in mind. People who wanted to shop as a statement of a political statement, not just as a way of buying things and getting things, groceries. Just like TPS, Nicer Local also was, and the TPS is gone, and this shop is now threatened by a new Tesco's. Just going to go around the corner here, just somewhere where I can actually speak to the camera, address the camera without shouting because it's too noisy here. Busy traffic, this is a quieter road here. Right, I've got a bit of a cough. So I suppose things are looking bad for independent small local businesses in Oxford at the moment. It seems that the mega corporations are having their way. The mega corporations who use slave labour and even free labour, people on job seekers allowance have to slave there, literally be slaves there. Everyone's on the minimum wage, as opposed to small local businesses with people in control of their own economic activities, and therefore are a lot better off, both in terms of financially they're better off because they have more of an income, and also better off just in terms of sheer humanity and on a spiritual level even. As the great E.F. Schumacher explained, you can't separate economics from spirituality because the two go together. As he explained in his brilliant book, Small is Beautiful. I'm sure Schumacher must be turning in his grave to see that new Tesco's opening up there. But I think the kind of language that's being used is, and even I've used it, the threat Tesco's poses to the nicer shops, because Tesco's will take away the customers who would go in the nicer shop, and they're going to go in the Tesco's instead, the Tesco's Express shop instead. And the kind of language that's being used, it's almost as if it's almost like saying Tesco's is like a giant vacuum cleaner that's going to suck up bits of dust, and the customers are actually the bits of dust that Tesco's just sucks up against our will. We're dragged kicking and screaming in chains into Tesco's and forced to shop there with guns pointing at our head. That's not true. There's an important point to realise here, and for people who live in this area, if you're watching this film, I would ask them to take this into account, and that is, at the end of the day, it's a matter of choice. If you ever organise some event, some social event, even if it's a big party or a wedding reception or a night out at the pub, and nobody turns up, and you phone round, you say, where is everyone? They said, oh no, I don't feel like it, I'm going to stay in, right? What if they opened up a Tesco shop and nobody turned up? Have you ever thought about that? What if Tesco's had this grand opening, cut a red ribbon, go da 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 da, welcome ladies and gentlemen, there's no one there. And they call out to people walking past, hey, you, what, do you want to come in and shop here? And they say, no thanks, don't feel like it, I'm going to go and shop in that nicer place instead. They'd be helpless. This is an important point. this is a big general point. Whether it's the Illuminati, whether it's government, whether it's mega corporations, they have no power themselves. They play a passive role. They wield the power which we abdicate. Ian R. Crane calls it willful abdication. So what I think is that we should not play victim if the nicer shop has to close because of the Tesco shop. We should say, well, why did we go and shop in Tesco's then? Why didn't we choose to stick with the nicer shop? What we need, I mean, as the famous Illuminati frontman Zbigniew Brzezinski once put it in one of his books, the biggest threat for the New World Order is the political awareness and awakening of the people. So what we basically need is we need a population that will shop for ethical reasons. And it's not going to be easy because, unfortunately, because Tesco's is a mega corporation, it can undercut, in terms of price, any of its competitors. Which means if you're thinking, well, I'll go to the place that's cheapest, you'll always go to Tesco's. And of course, in this day and age where everyone's so poor, including myself, that's always a temptation. However, you know, I'm actually my income is way below average now, even less than that of a hospital porter when it comes to this country. Yet I just shopped in that nicer shop. I just bought myself a carton of orange juice, carton of apple juice, and some cheese. Now, and the thing about it is, it's very much a role utilitarian kind of thing here, situation, because the more people who shop in these small businesses, and Nice is a small local business, privately owned, the more they can lower their prices. So if you go and shop in there, the more you go and shop in there, you may think, well, I'll go and shop in there because the next time I go in there, they may have knocked a couple of pence off the price because more and more people will follow my example. I actually live quite a long way from here, but well, not that, it's about a mile away. But I've come all the way down here to go shopping, just like I used to go to TPS, and I even joined TPS, as you know, as I explained. TPS is now gone. That nicer shop is still there. Let's do everything we can to make sure it stays there and doesn't go the same way as TPS. And the closing, just for once, it'll be that Tesco's, that new Tesco's down the road, that will be doing the closing. Thanks for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. And now here's the good news. Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. I'm outside the new Tesco's, remember that? Yeah. I've got something I want to show you. Come with me. See, there it is. It is the 20th of May 2015 and the nicer local on Abingdon Road, Oxford is still open for business. Isn't that great? But there's more. Just you wait and see. Well, the good news I'm referring to can actually be found here on BBC News. It's actually on the blog of the business editor for BBC, news, Kamal Ahmed. And what he's reporting is that Tesco, that great Satan of the retail sector, ended the last financial year with more than £6.4 billion gross in the red. So despite paying its workforce as little as it possibly can, and even creating 3,000, quote, work experience, unquote, placements for the unemployed, which I've spoken about before and I consider to be slavery, the supermarket giant has entered a terrible financial crisis. The losses that Tesco's made in the last financial year are its worst ever, and one of the biggest in the corporate history of Britain. Now, Kamal Ahmed puts this down to a combination of factors, all being exposed at the same time. Now, he calls this kitchen sinking. The URL for his blog article can be found in the description box of this film. Now, apparently, in terms of their sales revenue alone, the chain is still operating at £1.4 billion profit, but that is still a reduction on 60% from 2013. The cause of the plummeting of its losses, the cause of these huge losses, are actually the value of its infrastructure. That is the property value of the 3,000 stores it has nationwide. They are not worth a fraction of what they used to be, and Tesco's already have plans to close 43 stores. Now, I may be getting my hopes too high, but I can't help wondering if the real cause of this crisis is a lack of consumer confidence, and a lack of consumer confidence of a particular kind. And the key words are actually in Mr. Ahmed's blog, where he writes this: and shoppers are turning away from the larger out-of-town stores. And so this means if they're turning away from the larger out-of-town stores, it is because they have become aware, the consumer, quote-unquote, that Orwellian word, has become aware of his or her, I would say, greater economic consequences of their shopping habits. Are they starting to spend their money more ethically? And it could be, because in April last year, that is the beginning of the same financial year which has crushed Tesco's, I reported that the Nicer franchise has recorded a record-breaking 10% rise in sales profits. That's just a few months after I made my original new Tesco movie. Basically, what's happened is it's really wonderful. Their chief, Neil Turton, came on the news to explain that they've had a huge boost in their sales, and they already turn over 1.8 odd billion a year, and they've had that's gone up 10%. And as I've explained in the original film, Nicer are a franchise of independent stores. They are workers' cooperatives. The stores are owned independently by the people who work there. There's a shopkeeper, he owns that store. Anyone he employs directly himself. There is a management structure which is in itself a corporate entity, but the actual shops are not owned by the corporation. And Nicer, I tell you, it says here, it says a little bit of background to Nicer. They're a chain of independent grocers, cooperative small companies, specifically established to cater for the caring consumer. And this is what Nicer is in its own words. In 1977, we launched the National Independent Supermarket Association to protect the interests of independents against the insurgence of the national supermarket chains. Today, it's international. The group grew dramatically over the next 20 years, attracting thousands of independent retailers to its membership. It expanded and pioneered central distribution to independent stores to provide them the same benefits as multiples. Today, Nicer is a 1.6 billion turnover company which exists to provide benefits to its members, operating almost 2,500 retail stores, and provides every service that an independent needs to survive and grow in the grocery marketplace. Over the years, Nicer has ensured the prosperity of thousands of retailers. With its renewed focus on the consumer, now seeks to provide a greater means to achieve success. And I get this warm feeling inside me, I really do. Because of that film I made last year, and I'll put a link in the description box, because there's also one to the it also includes a bit about the People's Supermarket, because I made that film just after the People's Supermarket shut down, which is where I was working. Because, of course, Tesco are trying to break into this urban corner shop market, hence that Tesco Express on Abingdon Road. which is built, as I explained in the film, they demolished a 200-year-old pub to make room for that monstrosity. And I was worried at the time that that nicer shop might be put out of business. And of course, as you see, that Tesco Express has opened. It opened shortly after I made that film. But 18 months later, you can see that the Abingdon Road nicer branch remains open for business. Now, Tesco's are striking back. They're not going to go down quietly. They're cutting their prices. And Mr. Ahmed is explaining how, quote, there is some evidence that customers are returning, unquote. Okay, but for how long, Tesco? You're going to have to raise your prices to accommodate for your current shortfall. 6.4 billion. You're staving off the inevitable. I mean, if this story has emerged as a direct effect of consumer choice, then this will hopefully encourage other shoppers to join in. At the end of the day, right, it's up to us. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to do your shopping in Tesco's. Now, I know there is pressure for a lot of people because of Tesco's low prices, and I've noticed differences. But I tell you what, the difference in price between that nicer shop and the Tesco's on Abingdon Road is shrinking. There's still a difference. It's slightly pricier and nicer, but that difference will shrink even more as Tesco struggles to rebalance its books. And you people watching this, you can help out. You can be proactive in this by using shops like Nicer and other small businesses, because if you do that, you increase their profit margin, which allows them to lower their prices in response. So this is a role utilitarian situation. So basically it can form a positive feedback loop. And this is what I mean when I say that nobody's helpless. People do have political power. And anyway, the real superpower in this world is individual choice, and that superpower is blunted through apathy. This is what I mean when in the stuff I wrote on the Hapanmo Voice blog about the election, and about the fact I was not voting. People do have political power. I'd say especially if you did not vote in that election, you have political power. And this is how you exercise that political power. So please do think about what I've said. Because I tell you what, we've made progress. Take encouragement, take hope from what's happened. But it's not over yet. The title of this video is Tesco's Has Fallen, but that's more a kind of aspiration for the future. It's not fallen yet. It is falling. Let's make the title of this video a fact in the present day. Thank you for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order.
The workers who cannot organise when the bosses send their lackeys out to cheat us. Money speaks for money, the devil for his own. Who comes to speak for the skin and the bone? What a comfort to the widow, a light to the child. There is power